Hi guys, Steady Eddie here, this time having a nice little stroll through Udon Thani in this charming little pedestrianised precinct here. Okay, so in this little old video I want to talk about some really disturbing, heinous behaviour from Farangs in Thailand recently. Now I'm pretty sure that you've heard all about it. There's been a lot of news reports about Farangs behaving very, very badly. You know the cases I'm talking about. New Zealand guys wrestling a traffic cop, a Thai traffic cop. A couple of separate incidents involving Swiss men, middle-aged Swiss men, two separate incidents where, you know, they committed violent acts against Thai people. A Russian girl who kicked a pregnant Thai woman. There's all kinds of stuff. You know, young British men who are involved in a condo brawl with ladyboys in Phuket. What the hell is happening? It's like as if some mysterious cloud has descended on Thailand and turned everybody crazy, like a zombie apocalypse. What is happening? And why are Farangs behaving so badly? Well, I done a live stream about this on the Steady Eddie live channel the other week, and you know, we came up with a few ideas. A lot of the guys in the chat seem to think that it's to do with this naughty substance. It begins with Y and ends with dabba dabba do. Or, yeah, you know the one that I mean. Okay, it's a lot of them seem to think, you know, that they are behaving because of this naughty substance, and some say it's because of the wacky backy. Well, I always thought wacky backy is supposed to make you mellow, not turn to violence. But why are Farangs behaving so badly in this day and age? What's the matter with them? There's got to be something. They didn't. I'd only recall stories like this many years ago. You didn't. You know, about Farang. You know, a different story every week about Farang behaving badly. Well, personally, I think that the reason that these Farangs are behaving so badly, and by the way, it's not just the young people, and it's not just blokes, it's men, women, middle-aged, young, whatever, who seem to be committing these terrible offences. I think the reason that they're behaving badly is because they think they can get away with it. Really, I mean, has Thailand gone soft or something? It didn't used to be. Do you remember many years ago, maybe 30 years ago, when Thailand, you know, became a really popular destination? You know, great for backpackers and all this kind of stuff. But there was a lot of high-profile cases where the Thai authorities came down like a ton of bricks, especially if it involved naughty substances, bunging people up in the Bangkok Hilton. And it frightened a lot of people. You know, back in England, there were people who thought, oh, I'd love to visit Thailand, wonderful country. But there was plenty of other people who would say, I'm not going there. Be careful if you go out to that place. You step out of line in Thailand and they will bloody throw you in some rat-infested prison and throw the keys away. Very, very nasty. Yeah, there was a lot of bad press in those days. But in recent years, I haven't really heard too much about that. It's been a long time since I've heard of a foreigner given a dreadfully long sentence for something that's a lesser crime. So I mean, I'm not saying that the Thai authorities, the police, you know, become soft, but they don't seem to be as harsh as what they used to be. And this is why Farangs are starting to behave badly, because they think they can get away with it. This happens. It's happened in other countries, you see. You know, places like Ibiza. You know, lager louts have gone out there behaving badly. I mean, you know, Greece, other places, British lager louts have always behaved badly. It's only when the authorities come down on them like a ton of bricks and make an example that they start behaving themselves. Now, let me tell you, this is what I'm talking about. Authorities will eventually take so much, and they will start coming down heavily and making an example. It's always happened. It happens in other countries. It's even happened in England. Let me just take you back to the to the early 70s, right, when I was a little kid, a young kid. I remember in the early 70s a fine example of when a judge wanted to make an example of something. In the early 70s, this word came from America to Britain. It was an American word, but we didn't use it in Britain, but it seemed to be imported. And all of a sudden it hit the headlines. The word was mugging. All of a sudden, this American word started hitting the headlines in Britain in the early 70s. Beware of the muggers. The streets of Britain are not safe anymore. Muggers are here. Well, mugging is like robbery with violence, which has been around since time began, so it's nothing new. But it got a word. It got this word imported from America, this word mugging. Okay. And it caused a lot of, fear amongst people. Don't go outdoors, there may be muggers around. But, it came to the, here's a lot of headlines, and you know what the British tabloids are like, the old scare stories, they'll make a mountain out of a molehill, anything to sell newspapers. But there was a very famous case from the early 70s, round about this time, where a judge clearly wanted to make an example. It was well known at the time. This young man mugged somebody, and I don't know how severe the mugging was, but the sentence was severe. The judge gave him, I don't know, quote me on this if I've got it wrong, but I seem to recall he got something like life imprisonment, about 15 years. He got about 15 years in prison for mugging somebody. It was clear that the judge, who also reads newspapers and watches TV news and all this kind of stuff, it was clear that he wanted to make an example. And that was many, many years ago. Other countries will only take so much and they'll make an example. Look at what happened in Cambodia a few years ago. These young people started cavorting in skimpy clothes and sexual gestures and all the rest of it in Siam Reap, around Cambodia, Angkor Wat area, which is a sacred ground. They were behaving in a very, very provocative and very, very sensual and naughty way in a place where they shouldn't have been doing that. But they got the bloody shock of their lives because the police arrested them and they were bunged in jail. And they were only young people. Why did they do that? They behaved in that way because they thought they could get away with it. And then they got a nasty shock. Imagine if a young people being thrown into a Cambodian jail. It must have been a frightening experience, and I'm pretty sure they regretted their behaviour instantly. It happened a few years ago in Greece, one of those resorts that young people like to go and misbehave and all that. A young girl, a British girl, went to Greece in a resort, started behaving badly in a bar or whatever it was, got her womanly bits out, as they do, and, thinking it was funny, it was all right, and that's, what young people do, isn't it? But you got a nasty shock when all of a sudden the Greek police arrested her and bunged her in jail. It hit the headlines and frightened a lot of people. Imagine a young girl, she's having a laugh and a joke 1 minute, next thing she's in a Greek jail. And frightened a lot of young people, and they thought to themselves, oh, that's it. Greece is starting to get tough on their antisocial behaviour. I'm going to cancel my holiday there. That's what happened. They'll only take so much, these countries. And then they will come down like a ton of bricks when you least expect it. So, does anybody seriously think that the Thai authorities, the legal system, the police, does anyone seriously think that they are a soft touch? They didn't used to be. They were notoriously harsh at one time, but it looks to me like they have got a little bit soft. That's the way it's looking, because that's why these Farangs are behaving like that in this day and age. They're behaving, committing these heinous, inexplicable acts of violence simply because they think they can get away with it. But it will change. The Thai authorities will only take so much, any country will only take so much, and they'll be sitting around a table somewhere and thinking, right, we're going to make an example of this. So don't be surprised if a Farang commits a crime like the ones that you've seen recently, but he is dealt with in a most severe way. Someone may commit what he thinks is a ordinary violent act, and the next thing you know, he's being bunged in the Bangkok Hilton and the bloody keys are being thrown away. Life imprisonment. It'll shock people, it'll shock the world, it'll probably make news headlines. But that's what countries do. Sooner or later, they only take so much, and then they will decide it's time to make an example. So remember, if you're getting drunk and leery and committing violent acts against Thai people, then remember, it could be you. You could be the one that they'll make an example of. You could be the one thrown in prison for a very, very, very long time. Okay? And to be honest with you, I wouldn't have a great deal of sympathy with you, because Thailand is a wonderful country. It's marvellous. The people here are fantastic. It must be one of the world's most desirable countries. So why do people come here to behave in a stupid, violent and totally irrational way? Why do people do that? Okay, it's got to stop somewhere, and sooner or later the Thai authorities will make it stop. Okay, so anyway, it's Sunday afternoon right now, so I'm going to go and have a Sunday dinner. So I will say thanks for watching. Have a great day, a great evening, whatever you're doing. Stay safe, behave yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.